I love y'all. Late ill kid at one youngster, giving you that street geek and nerd soul. I'm here with my girl Lisa.
Hey.
Today, I'm going to do something a little different for my episode of 3 for 5 at One Youngster. Pretty much because this week has been a tough week. There's been a lot of just police brutality, police violence, police, state sanctioned murders. And it's been rough. And I didn't know exactly what to do with my show today. I didn't know whether to just do my regular wacky, silly stuff or to say something that meant something. And I figured that it would probably be best to say something that means something. I'm here with my girl Lisa to just, I guess, show that there is some unity. There is, black family. There is black love. There is black unity. They try to, they try to paint us as like this culture and this race that, there's no togetherness and there's no unity and there's no love and there's no affection and there's no emotion, and I couldn't do it without her. And Lisa, I guess let's just start out by how do you feel right
Um, I feel, as the day has gone by, I feel better than I did. I want to talk about how I felt on yesterday. Yesterday was the second day in a row that a cop had murdered a black man. And I'm going to call it what it is, murder. And, of course, this has been going on for some time now. It's become more and more consistent in the last, I would say, few years at least. And I don't know what it was about yesterday. I think it was because I actually watched the video of it that it really affected me. I just felt really, really sad, really hurt. Just hurt, I guess is the best way to describe it. I had a hard time sleeping last night. I began thinking about the safety of my husband, safety of my brother, my cousins, my friends, And my day at work was tough. It was tough. It was tough to get myself together to go to work. It was tough being at work today. It's just not a way that a U.S. citizen should have to live. And I think what makes it hardest is that we don't know what to do. And I think it's because, our ancestors supposedly fought for this already. The civil rights movement happened already. We overcame. Yay. Black power, right? We did the march and they changed the laws and, we're free, right? We have rights, right? Okay, so what do we do now? Because the thing is, there are no laws to fight for because the laws are already in place. And the problem now is the only people to go to are the people that are actually ignoring the laws and doing everything against those laws. And they are the people that are supposed to uphold the laws and that are committing the crimes. And we are supposed to go to them and say, could you stop? Could you please stop? And, when your friends, when your brothers kill us, can you please, send them to trial and can you please convict them? yeah, that's what we have to do. And it's just, I just have no words. I really have no words. I don't know what to do. I want to do something. And I really ask whoever listens to this, if you are in any type of position, if you have experience in politics, if you have experience in law, and you can, in all seriousness, give any advice of what we should do that would be effective, please comment. And I mean that in all sincerity, because I know I'm not the only one who feels like I don't know what to do.
The situation that we're in right now, especially is for someone like me, I've gotten to the point where this has happened so much and I'm so tired of it that I'm just weak. You know, I have to see people that look like me, people that look like my brother, people that look like my cousins or whatever, being killed for nothing. And then when it's done, we have to go through the same old, which is pretty much demonizing him for, you know, he stole a candy bar when he was 4 years old or something like that. And that's supposed to be the reasoning behind, you know, the justification for killing this person. And it's just tiring. And it's tough, you know, when you know, you do your best to be, and this is from my perspective, I do my best every day to be the safe Negro. And, you know, people might laugh and, you know, think it's funny, but it's true. I work in an industry where I need to make white people feel safe because there's not a lot of people in the industry that look like me in the first place. So when someone like me breaks in, you know, I need to make white people feel comfortable. That's just straight up the bottom line.
In all your bigness and your blackness.
Yeah,
as someone has said before.
Yeah, and all of my bigness and blackness, which already I guess scares them just because. But it's sad that in all of these situations, it doesn't matter whether they're, you know, walking around or sitting or standing or walking or running, or no matter what it is, there's a reason, there's a justification, there's a you know, opportunity to kill this person. And I've come to the realization, as I'm sure many of you have that are listening, that it doesn't matter what we do. It, you know, you could wear a full-blown suit. You could, you know, be standing just looking at your cell phone like the tennis player that got tackled for no reason and, you know, beat up or whatever. It doesn't matter what you wear, how you act, how you walk, what you drive, no matter what. If you're black, there's literally a target on your back. And I'm speaking just to y'all, saying that I know you don't hear it every day, but I love y'all. You know, I do this show, I do this channel because I love the people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? And I want them to have something, you know, to listen to as far as just, you know, just geek and, you know, pop culture, which, you know, isn't really as important as Black Lives Matter, but, you know, just something to have to call their own in this space of, you know, film pundits. But I can't even do that because I have to stop and do a show like this for something that shouldn't even be required. Like, I shouldn't have to do a show because we're getting gunned down 2 days in a row. And those are the 2 days in a row that were caught on film. There's some other brothers that were shot that were not caught on film that are probably, you know, who knows, in Kentucky or in Minnesota. I know there was a young brother in LA or in the LA metro area that was shot, I believe, yesterday that wasn't caught on camera. So I guess, they're trying to keep the numbers low because they know people are about tired. But, you feel exhausted, and then you feel like, I don't know what to do. And then the thing is, there isn't anything that we can do because we've done it all. We've petitioned, we've marched, we've protested, we've sat in, we've laid in, we've stood in, we've marched, we've held up picket signs, we've crossed arms, and we've done everything we could possibly do to change this. And I'll say this is a message from me to just the US government. You guys really need to figure out a way to fix this and fix it fast. Because whenever the people have to fix the issue of government, it's not pretty. That's all I'm saying. And this is not looking good for either side, really. But it's not looking good because when people have to change the government outside of voting and peaceful protests, it's never pretty. And I believe that black people have done everything they could to possibly make you feel comfortable. And all we get is, it's almost like spitting in our face, like over and over again. And then, the facts are misrepresented, and, it's like we're pushed around and the facts are misrepresented. Then we're demonized and then we're forgotten about.
Yeah. And not to even focus on the fact that we shouldn't have to try and make you feel comfortable. Let's not even focus on that. But like Michael just said, we try to make you all feel comfortable with our blackness and not be threatened by our blackness, even though we shouldn't have to, but we do. And again, like you said, you spit in our faces, and I feel like as far as we've come, we're turning right back around. I can only imagine how my grandmother feels in this time. This has to be almost a feeling of deja vu for her. And I'm going to talk to her soon and have a conversation with her about what she thinks about what's going on and how she feels, and if it reminds her of what she went through. My grandmother at 80 years old should not have to live in a time that has any similarity to what she went through as a young girl. And I know, without even having talked to her yet, there have to be some issues going on right now that remind her of what she went through and what she saw her brothers go through, what she saw her uncles go through and her father go through. And that should not be. And thinking about that and talking about that just honestly pisses me off. It just pisses me off, quite honestly. That should not be something that she goes through at this time in her life, let alone what we're going through. But that pisses me off.
I mean, if you just imagine, I can't imagine what it feels like to be that generation of like my mother or my grandmother, my dad or whatever, at home looking at the news. I wonder, and I mean, we're gonna have to get them on the phone or get a call and see if we could do another show, because I really want to know how they feel looking at this, because you've got to look like we did all this for nothing. Like we got 2% more of what we want, what we had. Like Stews is still beating us up, still killing us, still. I saw a video, a picture, some cop just casually pepper spraying this little girl.
A little girl.
For what? Just because you can. And it's like, it's things like that the older generation has to look at. And in my imagination, I'm not sure, I'll ask them, but I'm sure they've got to be looking at it like, we haven't won anything. And it's not like that generation didn't work hard. It's not like that generation you know, didn't, you know, go out and vote and fight for rights. And like my mother, I'm from Virginia, so my mother and her like classmates or, you know, whatever, were the first ones to be like integrated into white schools.
Yeah.
So like they were there, you know, they were there when all this stuff was supposed to be ending, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, to look on the news, it's gotta hurt. You know what I'm saying? For them to see this, and I mean, they're too old to do this fighting. But I mean, I'm 33, and it's sad to see another young brother that was about to be 33 tomorrow shot in front of his wife and child. Or girlfriend and child, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I believe his wife and child shot right in front of them.
And that's the other thing. They keep reporting it, but they keep omitting that there was a child in the back. And that bothers me. They keep omitting this in the reports, that there was even a child in the back of the car. And again, I watched the video. And at the very end of the video, after the officer told the woman, the fiance or girlfriend filming, to get out of the car because there was nothing else left for him to say, she turned her phone around, and that's when you saw that the baby girl was in the back of the car. And I was done at that point. So this officer fired 4 shots into a vehicle with a child in the back.
But they're doing that to preserve his humanity. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, let's not say this part because, you know, it already looks bad. But if we broadcast and if we kind of like, I guess, acknowledge that there was a child in the back, then that makes it even worse. That makes him look even more barbaric than he already is. And the fact is, this is normal for white people. White people as a race are used to just completely wiping people out. This is what they have always done. And my issue with this is, if that's the case, if that's what y'all wanted, then why even go through the whole process of this fake democracy and all this stuff? Why? Why even do that? Why not just keep the same, you know, monarchy that you had from way back in, you know, when you guys were in Europe? Like, why even go through this?
Because they wanted freedom for themselves, not thinking about we were going to fight for our freedom at some point and want the same democracy because we live in the same country as you. That became their problem.
Well, yeah. The biggest issue is the plan was
supposed to be
free.
Free.
We were never ever supposed to be free in the first place. That's the biggest issue here in America, is that we were never ever supposed to be free. That's probably one of the biggest things. But I know it seems like I'm rambling, and I feel like I'm rambling, but I just had to say something, and I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to tell you to say to your congressman or your congress lady, or I don't know what to write, or whether you should go out and, you know, picket, or whether you should go out and protest, or whether you shouldn't. But one thing I will say is that my message to you, black boy, black girl, black man, black woman, be who you are. Because pretending is not going to keep you safe no way. So if being black, and I'm not saying be, you know, rowdy and like, you know, and aggressive. What I'm saying is, if being black to you is loving the TV show that you love and talking about it at work, well, don't hide it at work. Or if being black and loving yourself is having natural hair, then have natural hair. If it's a certain hairstyle, if it's a certain type of clothes, if it's a certain type of music, be what blackness is to you. Whether it's reading certain things or listening, don't hide that stuff to make white people feel comfortable, because it's not gonna help no way. It's not gonna save you. It's not gonna fix you. It's not gonna keep you safe. It's not gonna make them feel comfortable, because they don't like you no way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who knows what they're saying behind my back, your back, all of our backs. You know what I'm saying? And because the stuff that they say out in public, we know is already bad enough. They'll take a kid that's 13 years old and be like, oh, well, he smoked weed one time. It's like, but do you know how many? And this is from a kid that grew up in black neighborhoods, and I grew up in white neighborhoods. There's white kids that start drinking out their dad's liquor cabinet at 10, 12 years old. I see it. I've seen it multiple times with many kids. But those same kids will not get that same, treatment when they commit a crime, or so, they won't be like, well, this kid was drinking when he was 12. They won't say that. They'll be calling this dude a kid when he's like 30. and like a black kid, they'll be calling him a kid. I mean, they'll be calling him a grown man when he's like 10. So my thing is, be yourself and make you proud. Make your people proud. Make your folks. And when I say your people, you don't have to represent every single black person, but like your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, whatever. Make them proud. Because trying to make white people proud ain't got us nowhere, obviously. Like, I thought it did. We all thought it did. But we can easily see that it hasn't. We can see how the news has been reporting in these last couple of days that it hasn't.
And I want to say this. I don't want this to continue to be an either or. Black folks, we don't have to be at a point where we say it's all about black people and we're against white people. That's not the answer either. And, white people, I'm asking you all to stop for a moment and actually listen. Not just hear the noise that's coming out of us. I want you to actually listen. We're not trying to take anything from you. Understand that. We're not trying to take anything from you. We're not asking for anything above and beyond. We're not asking for anything extra. We're asking to be treated like human beings. We're asking for you to stop killing us. We're just asking for life, a human right to live. And if there's anger, if you can hear anger in my voice, yes, there's anger, because you're killing our people. You don't, and I know you don't understand that. You don't get it. But I need you all to just stop for a moment, stop being defensive, and just listen.
Well, see, the thing is, they are losing something. And they are defensive because whether they acknowledge it or admit it or not, they realize that they live inside of a system that is set up for their benefit. If we do gain equality in said system, their benefit is now gone. White privilege would be gone. Institutionalized racism would be gone. All of those things that are set up in their favor, that whether they like to acknowledge or not, would be gone. So actually, we are asking for, in effect, we are literally asking them to take less of what they have, because they have a specific power in this structure that they've set up. So for us to just be like, yo, man, we want to be treated just like normal, regular human beings, just like y'all are, they're looking at us saying, but you aren't like us. You aren't as valuable as us. They show us that every day. You aren't as important as us. They show us that every day. You aren't as smart as us. You aren't as as large in status, or whatever the term may be. They show us this every day. So for us to ask for what they have, even though we should have it as human beings, we should. They know on the inside, in the deepest parts of their mind, they know the power that they have in this system, and they are unwilling to let that power go. And that's where that pushback comes from. That's where that anger comes from. They will never tell you that. They will never, because for them to tell you that is for them to admit, yes, I'm racist, or even if I'm not racist, I know that I definitely benefit from this racist system. You know what I'm saying? They would have to admit that. They don't want to admit that, because for them to admit that would, we're good people. We're not racist. I just walk blindly through this, American system that lets me do whatever I want to do while I get to watch other people, bust their butt and suffer and complain about it. And then I can sit back and be like, well, you're not working hard enough. Or, well, you're just not smart enough. Or, well, did you try hard enough? Because they can always sit back and say, well, I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, not knowing that the whole system is set up for them to succeed.
And let me say this in terms of that. If you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps, then I guarantee you those bootstraps were given to you by your father. And I guarantee you your father got those bootstraps from his father. And guess what? His father had those boots made by a slave. So that means that's free labor and free product. And you've had generations of freeness. So you've had generation after generation after generation that's able to build up wealth because you have free labor. You didn't have to pay for nothing. So, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to be extremely long. I do want to say that I had to dedicate this. I had to say something. We had to say something because Black lives do matter and we are tired of it. We don't know what the answer is. I do know what one answer is, but I don't want it to be that. My boy Hannibal Taboo says it all the time, and I don't want it to be that answer. But the more and more, the further this goes, it looks like the establishment wants this to change the hard way. I'll say that. Because it doesn't look like they want to, be fair, be equal, work with us, do anything. It looks like they want us to take it. That's what they're making it seem like. And the only thing is, if we have to take it, it's not going to be pretty for anyone. And I would rather them come to the table and us be able to work together and iron out and fix all this mess. From legal loopholes to the jail system, to the school system, to the to hiring practices, all of this stuff, and iron it out. But if people have to fix this, if people have to solve this problem, it's not going to be pretty. So I implore you, judges, politicians, whoever, please, it is in your best interest to figure out a way to fix this, because I don't see any other options. We've marched, we've sat in, we've begged, we've voted, we've ran for office. We have done everything. There's only one thing we haven't done. And I truly hope we don't have to resort to it.
I continue to say Black Lives Matter. And I don't want anyone to cut that down and say all lives matter. Because if you don't believe Black Lives Matter, then you don't believe all lives matter. So until all lives matter, Black Lives Matter.
So in signing off, of course, VA, what up? LA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. Black people, I love y'all. Be yourselves. You can't make nobody feel comfortable no matter what you wear, no matter how you speak, no matter what you say, no matter where you go. So be yourself. Be comfortable in who you are. You know what I'm saying? God made you fine just how you are. You know what I'm saying? You are a beautiful young black man, beautiful young black woman, and I love you. And I hope that, you can make it out this week with some good news. So, of course, comment. Of course, I will moderate the comments. So if you come in with that bull, it will get deleted. You will get reported. It will get blocked because I'm not playing no games. But comment, subscribe, Much love. Back hopefully on our regular schedule on Tuesday with 3 for 5 and One Youngster. I'm Late Ill Kid at One Youngster. This is my girl Lisa.
Black Power.
We love y'all. Peace.